You're listening to the WBT Podcast with Michael Lodge. Listen to all of our podcasts at www.wbtpod.com. Stay informed. Let's get started.
This is brought to you by Lodge & Co., a business and tax advisory firm where your success is our goal. Call us today toll-free at 888-681-1518 or visit us at www.lodge-co.com and learn more about what we can do for you. Lodge & Co., your source for sound business and tax services.
And welcome to the WBT. This is Michael Lodge. I'm glad that you've joined me. It's a beautiful day here in Burbank, California. It's nice, blue, sunny skies, not even a cloud in the sky. Great day for learning, right? So, listen, I told you that we were going to start talking about our personal finances and how to get more in control. The very first lesson that we're going to do is budgeting. Oh, I know some of you are about ready to hit end right now on your cell phones or computers or whatever you're at. But don't do it. Because listen, every single business out there creates a budget. And then what they do on a monthly basis, they take their budget and they compare it against their actual results. They look at all their revenue, they look at all of their expenses, and then they have to come up with a explanation as to why they didn't meet their expectations. Well, the same thing goes for individual personal finances. The first thing, before we talk about debt, before we talk about insurance, before we talk about wills and trusts and whatever else we're going to talk about, we need to talk about your budgeting. If you are not budgeting, then we have a really big problem. Because if you don't know how much income that's coming in to cover the total expenses going out, then you're going to be in trouble. And I hate to be in trouble. So we need to talk about our personal budgeting process. And it's very, very important. Now, I have an Excel spreadsheet that I give all of my clients. And it's very good. It gets you right down to the numbers where you can look at where you are. And my clients really adhere to it because I push them, because I meet with them, I talk with them, I send emails to them. I want to see their results because I want to know that they are living to their personal budget. So how do you make a budget? That's probably your question. My gosh, do I have to spend time? Do I have to sit down and put a budget together? Yes, and you have to do it in writing. You have to put it on paper. If you don't put it on paper, you have no commitment. You have no commitment. So the first thing that you do is you can get out a piece of paper, or if you are good in Excel, or if you come to me as a client, we can sit down and give you the Excel spreadsheet that we've spent a lot of time with putting together for you to create your budget and record your actuals to it. So the very first thing that you need to do is that you have to gather up all of your financial data. That includes your bank statements, your investment accounts, your recent utility bills, any information regarding a source of income or the expense. And one of the keys in that, gathering that up, is if you have school debt, that becomes a part of your budget because you have the responsibility of repaying that back. So I want you to make sure that that is part of your budget. So the first thing that you do is you record all of your sources of income. That means all of your W-2 income, your payroll checks. If you are self-employed, that means all of the items that you have billed out to clients. So you have to gather up all the sources of income. If you've got stocks and bonds that are coming in, that's part of your income. So gather up all of your sources of income. And so if you are self-employed or have any outside sources of income, be sure to record these as well. You have to record them because that is income. That's part of your money source. If your income is in the form of a regular paycheck where taxes are automatically deducted, then using the net income, that means gross income minus taxes and all the other stuff they take out, and that becomes your net income, or what we call the take-home pay. So that is what you have to record. Record this total income on a monthly basis. So you need to know what your income stream is going to be. Then you need to write down all of your monthly expenses. Now this is going to be a tough thing because remember I told you part of your monthly expenses is going to be the debt that you owe on your schooling. You need to include that. That is a liability. Okay? It is a bill that is due and that we need to start planning to pay back. So create your list of monthly expenses. Write down a list of all the expected expenses you plan on incurring over the course of each and every single month. This includes a mortgage payment, car payments, auto insurance, groceries, utilities, entertainment. Be careful on entertainment because I'm seeing way too much high expense on that. Your dry cleaning, your student loans, your retirement or college savings. Essentially everything you spend money on every single month. So you need to get a hold of all of your expenses. Then you need to break your expenses really into two categories, which are fixed and variable. Fixed expenses are those that stay relatively the same each month and are required parts of your way of living. They include expenses such as your mortgage or rent, car payments, cable and or internet services, trash pickup, credit card payments, and so on. These expenses, for the most part, are essential, yet not likely to change in the budget every month. They probably should be the same amount, unless you decide to pay down. After you get down to the very bottom line, income minus expenses gives you a net income which should be going into your bank, and that can be used to pay down your debt, but we will talk about that later. So now variable expenses are the type that will change from month to month and include items such as groceries, gasoline, entertainment, eating out, gifts that you give out to your godchildren or to your children or to your husband and wife. Remember, Valentine's Day is coming along, so that's going to be a gift. So that's just to name a few. The category will be important when making your adjustments because you may be overspending on a lot of that stuff. And you don't want to do that because if you've got debt, you need to figure out a way to bring in enough income to cover your expenses and then have some left over that you can pay down your debt. You don't want debt. So then what you need to do is you need to total your monthly income and monthly expenses. So that's basically on a spreadsheet, all of your income at the top, all of your expenses below that, with a total line for each, income minus the total line of expenses, and that will give you your net income. Now here's the deal. A lot of you are going to be upside down. That means that you've got more expenses going out than income coming in. You are charging more on your credit cards, but you don't have enough income really to cover that. So now you're building up interest and penalties and late fees and everything else. So if you, at the end of the day, when you do your income minus expenses, and if your end result shows more income than expenses, you will be off to a good start. If you can show that. But I can guarantee you about 80% of you will be in the upside down mode. Listen, I do taxes every single day, and I advise people, businesses and individuals every single day. And what I have seen is that their credit card debt and their student loan debt and their mortgage debt is so far more that they're spending than income that is really being brought into the family or to their lives. So it's very important to have this budget because we need to know where you're standing. We need to know what your financial position is right now. We need to know how much debt is out there and how much net income is available for us to pay down that debt. That is the ultimate goal. That is the ultimate goal. Every single month, as you work on your budget, and I want you to take one day, just one day out of the month. That's all it takes is one day out of the month. Gather up all of your income, gather up all of your expenses, and log them in, and compare them to what you budgeted for, and see what your net result is, and where did you go wrong. If you listen, it will take you about 3 months to get this down. It's not going to happen overnight, but it's going to take you about 3 months' time of literally recording your income and your expenses to get to know what is going on with your personal finances, and that is where we want to go. It is important to review this every single month. So if you are married, or if you are living with someone where you're sharing the income and expenses, or if you are engaged to someone, sit down together and do your budget. Every single month you have to do it together, because it takes a team really to get this done. So it is important to review your budget on a regular basis to make sure you are staying on track. That is the goal of what we're trying to do, to keep you on track, to keep you going. Now, if you need help in this, I'll be more than happy to help you. Our firm does this every single day for clients. We have a really nice Excel budget sheet where we track everything that is going on in your life, and we do some preliminary interviews with you to see exactly where you're at, and then we start the budgeting process. And that's vital, 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 vital. I'm telling you, you need to look at this every single month. It's your responsibility. I often think, and I say this all the time, Americans have the highest amount of debt. Right now, on credit cards alone, Americans owe $420.22 billion worth of credit card debt. It was up 5% from 2017. So between 2017 and 2018, your debt went up. Now, a part of that is consumer confidence. You think, hey, everything's going great, everything's going good. But listen, when your debt goes up 5%, that's not good. Not good at all. So Americans have got to get back on track as to where they stand on their personal budget. If you have any questions now, send me an email at lodge@co.com, and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions for you. If you want to sit down with us, call the office at 888-681-1518. Ask for Brendy. Set up an appointment, and we will work with you and get you back on track. Now, in the next few days, we're going to be talking about your credit card debt. We're going to be talking about your school debt. And there are options out there for you to get that debt down. I'm telling you, there are options. So have faith that we can work this through. And then we're going to talk about mortgage, we're going to talk about wills, we're going to talk about trust, so that we all understand what's really important. The next lecture, because once you get your budget done, then I want you to look at life insurance to cover any of the debt in case something happens to you. If you're self-insured, if you got lots of money, fine, then you're great. But we need to talk about life insurance. And in the next few days, we need to talk a whole bunch of things that affect our personal financial lives. This is Mike Lodge. I'll talk with you soon. Have a great day.
Thank you for listening to the WBT with Michael Lodge. Join us again tomorrow as we explore more about business and taxes. Follow us on iHeartRadio and go to our podcast website at www.wbtpod.com and listen to all of our podcasts and read our blogs.
This is brought to you by Lodge & Co., a business and tax advisory firm where your success is our goal. Call us today toll-free at 888-681-1518 or visit us at www.lodge-co.com and learn more about what we can do for you. Lodge & Co., your source for sound business and tax services.